Hey everyone, welcome back to a brand new video. In today's video, we are going to be discussing tips for beginner players. These tips will help you understand the game at a more technical level. Therefore, your understanding will be better. Before we move on, if you enjoyed the video or find it helpful in any way, make sure you subscribe and leave a like on the video. This way, I know I did a good job or not. Now, with that said, let's go ahead and move on. The first tip I want to give you guys is an unspoken tip. This is about playing with better players. Before you even think about playing ranked or jumping into a solo queue game, you should try and find the best players on your friends list and play with them. This way, when you come across a decent stack of players in ranked, you'll end up having a higher chance of winning. Now with that being said, let's go ahead and start jumping into in-game tactics. Okay, so let's look at Clubhouse. This map has made its way back into the map pool since the rework and is, in my opinion, a very versatile map for utility. Let's look at the upstairs cache room. When holding this site, you would mainly need a bandit. The outside wall isn't going to deny itself. Now, the enemy team should usually bring a maverick here. They would bring the maverick because opening the bottom of the server wall gives the enemy team a huge advantage. So to best counter this operator, you should ban the maverick. Now, your team is at no disadvantage. The most typical bans would be Jackal, Mirror, and the last two would be very optional for each map and each site on those maps. Okay, so let's go ahead and move into operator selection. This typically has on defense a bandit, Jaeger, and plant denial. Plant denial would be Echo, Maestro, and Smoke. C4s do play a big part in plant denial also, but we'll get into that later simply because we're talking about operators at the moment. Typically, you wouldn't need 3 plant denials, as 1 or 2 of these is fine. So, you would pick a flex operator, such as Vigil, Cade, Ella, to best fit your strategy and help hold the site. Now moving on to the attack for operator selection. On attack, you would see something similar to the defense. You would typically have a Thermite, Thatcher, and then for utility, you would bring a soft breacher like Zofia, Ash, or Buck, and then the last 2 operators are situational, like an IQ or a Nomad, or even a plant operator like Capital or Gridlock. It all depends on the site and the situation you're in. On to the next segment, which is going to be sound cues. Sound cues are really easy to talk about, but we have to discuss the mechanics of the game's sound at the moment. Siege's sound is broken. It's not really something you can trust too much. That's why you have to start learning the maps and understanding where certain elements are on those maps. These are called sound cues. So basically, when someone walks on carpet or wood flooring, you can hear the sound cue. Trust what you hear instead of what is actually happening in your headset. To give you a good example of this is when someone is walking on some wood flooring and there is carpet flooring next to you. Now there's 2 doorways, to your left and 1 to your right. Now in the left doorway, there is carpet. In the right doorway, there is wood flooring. Now, if you hear wood flooring, but it is coming from the left side of your headset, but you know wood is to your right, you are going to aim towards the wood flooring because that is clearly where the player is. Otherwise, that wood noise wouldn't be happening. So therefore, you then get the kill, you understand the game better, and then you understand the sound cues a lot better. Now this segment is one of the most underrated segments I think no one ever talks about, or like topic that no one ever talks about in video games, I think. Now, this tip is huge, right? This is something that I wish I knew earlier. No matter what elo you're at, you should always put yourself in the enemy's perspective. This way, you are able to play unwinnable situations out and potentially win them. The best way to do this is to put yourself in their shoes. Where would you be post-plant? Where do you hold in this current situation? What angle do you hold in sight? There are so many situations that you can put yourself in that you can understand from their perspective that that's what you would be doing, and potentially 9 times out of 10 they are probably doing that. This tip is a big one. This is something I see a lot of low elo players do. They tend to drone out too much ahead of themselves and end up dying to angles they previously cleared. The best way to drone is to be close to where you initially started droning. You have to be careful though. If a player is close to where you're about to drone, that player will most likely get aggressive towards you and jump out said door or window you are droning from. So take precautions, be smarter about it. The best thing you could do is to clear your immediate angles and then push in. What's even better is entry off of a drone. This means your friend will drone for you and you will follow behind said drone while your friend gives you callouts. That is it for today's video. On a quick recap of today's video, we talked about playing with better teammates, typical operator selection you should be bringing most games, sound cues, enemy player perspectives, and how to drone more efficiently. These aren't all the tips in the world, but these are the bare basics of getting better at Rainbow Six Siege. If you guys do want to see more videos like this, go ahead and hit the subscribe button and like the video. So with that said, I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Peace out, dude.